Oh, I just said beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So
No, it is not.
It is actually not. That has been debunked.
That's debunked.
Municat would agree with you. She would agree with you.
Pretty weak-willed because all it took was falling in love with a man, and now I'm like, not really. I mean, I'm a feminist, but like kind of. I don't really need my maiden name. I don't really need it. I like your last name better anyway. Like, I'll just take that. I know he can do his own laundry. I know that he can clean the house, but I want to do it for him. I want to cook all his meals. I want to make sure he's getting all his whole grains, all his vegetables. I want to make sure he's getting all that protein.
All his
He has not
macros
asked
are on
any of
point.
this of me. It just kind of naturally kicks in. Like, these instincts just kind of come out of like, oh, now I have to take care of you when you're sick. Oops, I made you breakfast and it fits all of your dietary requirements. My bad. I think I got possessed by a housewife. Is that what happens?
I guess feminism has its limits.
Has this ever happened to you where you had a mentality and then all of a sudden it changed when you met the right man?
Yeah, for sure. If he's providing like those types of things, then I just like want to do other things. Like I want to provide for him because he's providing for me, you know? I wouldn't want to just sit there like a lump on a log while he's like doing everything for me. And it's like, I don't know, I'd almost feel bad just like sitting around because he's playing a part, I'm playing a part. And if they mesh perfectly, then yeah, I'm good to do all of it.
I want to point one more thing out here, especially to just sort of tag this on to the end of this video is I like to use this as kind of like an example of like there's the guy that like women will say that they, you know, this is who I want to be with, and then there's the guy that is the guy who is she's going to be the ride or die girl for. So when I have talked to women in the past who are like very, you know, dyed in the wool feminists and they're like, you know, it's got to be 50-50 and everything else, and they meet a guy that brings the woman and brings the feminine out in her, that's when suddenly like they're like, I don't understand, why am I really like this? Why do I want to do this? So I always use this example. There's Ryan Gosling and Eva Mendes. Okay, so Eva Mendes was very anti having children. She didn't want to have any kids. She was, you know, pushing 40 at the time. Like she was like late 30s, right? She meets Ryan Gosling. Her whole life, she's like, I don't want kids. I know I don't want kids. Meets Ryan Gosling, marries Ryan Gosling, and she says, I want his kid. I want his baby. She goes from this like very, you know, sort of like a strong, empowered, narrative feminist woman to I want his babies, and that was the end of it. And like, she is like ride or die. I mean, it's Ryan Gosling. Let's be honest. That's her guy. And that right there is like when people ask me like, Rollo, what is like? Give me an example of like genuine desire. That's genuine desire. I want his babies, not, oh, my biological clock is ticking, I need to have kids soon, this guy'll do. You know, that's not what I'm talking. You know, it's not I want babies, I want his babies. And there's a difference between like a difference in desire between those.
Why do you think that happens? What specifically triggers a female's instincts?
Honestly,
like that?
I think it's the guy has to be sort of first of all has to be the right fit for that girl, but also he's got to be conventionally masculine to bring out that conventionally feminine. I think a lot of women, we're going to get to some more videos here that's going to like sort of back this up. That's why I'm kind of giving you a preface here. There are women who will go and they'll be very highly masculinized and they'll say, you know, I done everything everybody told me to do. I got my job, I got my money on point, I've got my education, everything else, and they essentially turn themselves into the men that they want to marry, right? Well, the problem is they can't find a guy who is that much more above them where they would be as far as like being that guy. But when they do find that guy, like against all odds, and they find that guy, that's when Eva Mendes says, Ryan Gosling, I want your babies. That's when there's a clip. We have surveyed like so many girls on this show where I've said, is there any situation where you would not think it would be 50-50 or would be some reciprocal thing where a guy could sort of bring that out in you? Because one of the things that I always talk about with women is when they're telling me, I got all this stuff together, Rollo, I got my job on point, I got my money on point, I got education on point, I did everything everybody told me. Where's my man? Where are all the good guys? And this is going to lead up to a video that we have here. Where are all the good men? And I always say, well, they're back in your 20s where you left them, generally. But the thing is like you're not going to find that guy now because you've become that guy, and you will have to find some way to get in touch with your inner feminine, get back in touch with your femininity. And the problem is when I say that, it sounds like I'm saying dumb yourself down. Like I did all this work, I did all this education, I got my money together, I'm living like a guy, like a successful alpha male, and you're telling me I need to start acting like some like naive little kind of like, you know, housefrau, and I'm going to be, you know, naked and barefoot in the all my teachers throughout my college education told me that's the enemy. That's not what I should be doing. And you're telling me that I should do that. I'm saying, well, you have to get in touch with your inner feminine. And the problem is there's not enough guys that can bring that out in those women in the first place because they've built lives around emphasizing their masculine.
So, like, you understand, your man can love you and think that there are other women that are prettier than you. A lot of women don't, especially when they're young, they don't grasp that concept. It's like beyond them. You know what I'm saying? Do you ever have girls come to you and be like, do you think I'm the prettiest girl in the world?
No.
Fishing for compliments.
If someone did, if you had a girlfriend and she was like, am I the prettiest girl in the entire world, what would you say?
Of course, she will be the prettiest for me, for sure.
Yeah, that's what you tell them? See, this woman has game.
She's like, we should just
Everyone should have a lesbian friend. What do you think, Bailey?
You think it's a trap?
Yeah, it's a trap. I'd say, like, if you were, like, to say you're the prettiest girl to me, sure, that's a great answer. But the prettiest girl in the world, come on. Like, I don't like how he said she was a 6. I mean, that would suck hearing that from a boyfriend, but...
Do you guys understand? If you're
stretch.
like, we sit there and bash on 6s, but 6 means you're above average. Most of, like, us aren't really 6s. Like, legitimately, if you were to stratify all men in the world, I'm probably not a 6. Like, there's so many better looking dudes. Like, I'm totally understand that concept. It doesn't bother me at all. But if you were to ask my girlfriend, she'd be like, oh, he's a 9. I'm like, well, no, that's because you're biased. You know, that's what's going on.
I love when she says,
in the eye of the
I love when
beholder.
she said she would have dated you 20 years ago.
Yeah, that's funny. Go ahead.
Hilarious.
No, you wouldn't. So, were you gonna say something?
Oh, I just said beauty is in the eye of the beholder. So
No, it
It is
isn't.
not. It is actually not. That has been debunked.
That's the debunked.
Muni Cat would agree with you.
Cat would agree
She would
with
agree
you.
with you.
Yes.
I mean, okay, so I have like kind of like 2 viewpoints. Okay, so I'm not really into cooking, but like so I'll cook sometimes. But I don't mind cleaning and doing laundry. However, I do kind of feel like, I don't know, I like to be worshipped. So that's kind of different for me. Yeah, I would kind of like that. So yeah, maybe I'm a little different.
If you want to be worshipped, does that like mean like if he does that, then is it like reciprocal?
Well, yeah, no, I totally will do that too. Like if you're like,
What if he wants to be worshipped?
Yeah, no, I'm all about it too. I'm all about that.
All right, I want to ask you this: have you ever dated a guy?
Yeah, I did.
You did, and there was never a point where he made you change your behavior, or they were just icky and gross. I think they're icky and gross.
Well, he
I think
made
all
me
men are
change,
trash.
Like,
He made you change to become a
yes,
lesbian.
Yes.
That's awesome. There we go. Shout out to that guy.
Yes.
Shout out to that guy.
Okay, so you're saying is you at one point found men attractive. Did you ever meet a man that you wanted to change your behavior for, like become a housewife, anything like that? No.
No. I'm not
No.
gonna be a housewife.
Yeah, and then you just realized
I
you
mean,
just like women better.
maybe for some time. I like taking care of the people who I love.
Yeah.
Of course, but I will not be a housewife.
Okay, nice.
Can I ask you a question real quick? Like, so because this is the first time you've said that you actually like were with a guy at one point. Like you've been on the show like probably 2 or 3 times now. Was the guy that you were with, was he like more masculine or was he more like kind of like effeminate? Was he like thinner and like more
No, masculine. Like,
He was more masculine, really.
What did he do to make you
What did I
start
do?
batting left-handed? Like what happened?
It was a lot. It was.
Was it a bad shit that he did?
I don't really want to.
Okay, then no, we don't
Yeah,
talk
don't worry
about it.
about
Go
it,
ahead. Well, actually, San Marino, what do you think? Has a guy ever hypnotized you and you were like, yes, let me go cook some? Yes. Yeah, there we go. All right. There we go. That's what it looks like. That's what it looks like.